Hey everyone, I'm Brian Craig. If you're new here, please subscribe and click the notification bell. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're just new to me, just tell you quickly who I am, then we'll jump right into all the news and all the issues. Like I say, my name's Brian Craig. I'm a conservative radio talk show host, big Trump guy. I also have a podcast. I live stream on this channel when I'm on the radio weekday mornings from 6 till 9 a.m. Eastern, taking calls from our radio listeners as well as those of you watching on YouTube. And I upload my podcast here. I live stream from my studio here at home all the time too, and all kinds of other stuff. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And man, is there a lot going on here. This story here, this made me very excited because, you know, I'm not really a revenge guy at all, okay? But Trump is. And usually I would not be supporting revenge on anyone. Hey, Thomas. Hey there. But what you are dealing with here with the Republicans, they're worse than the Democrats. At least the Democrats, we know what they're all about, right? With what's going on here and now with the Republicans is just a complete betrayal. If the Republican Party were a country, it would be treason. I mean, they're treasonous Republicans. People call them rhinos, which means, you know, stands for Republican in name only. But that's just too mild. Just too mild. Hey, everyone in the chat, welcome, welcome, welcome. Ken, Lowell, hey, everyone. Calling them rhinos is like, oh, they're just, you know, rhinos. It's like I remember when John McCain was always causing trouble, and they say, oh, you know, that's John McCain. You know, what do you mean? You know, no. President Trump is planning this revenge tour, and I'm very glad, you know, Emerald Robinson, who's the Newsmax TV White House correspondent, before Inauguration Day, she reported that her sources were telling her that President Trump was planning a revenge tour to primary out of office all these treasonous Republicans. And now here we are, the impeachment trials next week, and we're learning that Emerald Robinson over at Newsmax was right on the money. So here we go. Trump's revenge tour, ex-president plotting to settle the score. This has to be done, because what we need to do are replace these rhino, traitorous, treasonous Republicans with real Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you support Marjorie Taylor Greene, give me a 1 in the chat room if you don't mind. And if you're watching later, in the comments, if you support Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's a long name to type out. Give me a 1 in the comments. So here we go. Donald Trump is plotting a campaign revenge tour targeting Republican defectors after the Senate impeachment trial concludes, sources have said. Strategist at Trump's Florida's Mar-a-Lago private resort, which is right up the street. Right now I'm in my studio at home. This is where I podcast from. Thank you, Jack, for that $5 super chat. If you don't like rhino, Dr. Steve calls them Diablos, Democrat, and all but label. I don't know who Dr. Steve is. Diablo, I like that. That's good. That's his thing though, Jack. So I don't want to steal his thing, but I like that. How about just traitors, right? Mar-a-Lago's, by the way, right up the street from me, and I'm going to be going up there soon. I'm going to be, maybe in about a week or so, I'm meeting some people up at Mar-a-Lago. Looking forward to that. Strategist at Trump's Florida Mar-a-Lago private resort, where he now lives, are planning potential trips against GOP members who voted in support of his removal from office, according to Business Insider. That has cited 6 sources. This is freaking awesome. I love it. You miss President Trump? He's still there. Maybe it's because, do I play golf? Nah, I've tried. I'm not very good at golf. I've gone to the driving range a lot, though. But I'm sure he wants to get out a roulette wheel with all their faces on it. One Republican who remains close with Trump in the inner circle said, yeah, to pick which one's first, right? The former president is currently lying low as House Democrats prepare to make their case that Trump was directly responsible for the January 6th Capitol riots. He was not, first off, he had nothing to do with the Capitol riots. He had no role in it. He found out it happened when the rest of us did. And I'll tell you, CNN did a special report the weekend after the Capitol breach, and their reporting on Donald Trump confirms that President Trump had no idea what was going on during the breach. This was CNN's report. During the breach, CNN said, according to their special report, that while it was going on, when the Viking and all that was going in, that President Trump and Giuliani were calling up members of both houses about trivial things that were going on, nothing to do with the breach. So they had no idea what was going on. If he was in on it, he would have known, right? He didn't know anything about it. Trump refused a challenge from Democrats on Thursday to testify at the Senate impeachment trial proceedings. Of course, this is unbelievable with these low-life Democrats. They wanted him to testify. They wanted him to swear under oath. They wanted to, if he testifies, he's got to be sworn in, and they wanted to get him online to Congress, right? Which is a crime, especially in a Senate trial. It's got to even be a little more severe than a typical lying to Congress thing. And I think about that, right? They were trying to set him up on a perjury trap, like they did with Flynn, right? A perjury trap. If he is, think about this. If he is guilty of inciting an insurrection, if he's guilty, President Trump, of planning an insurrection, why are they going for some low-level charge like lying to Congress or the Senate, right? I mean, they got nothing. They know they can't get a conviction. They know he's done no crime. They know he had nothing to do with the insurrection. I don't even, the breach and all of this. So they're trying to get him on perjury. They're trying to set up a perjury trap. The very fact that they're trying to set up a perjury trap on Trump shows you that they know they got nothing in the impeachment trial that's coming up. Almost to the day in February last year, Trump celebrated his first impeachment. Yeah, by holding up copies of major newspapers proclaiming the news. However, the first trial was much closer than the second is expected to be, with just one Republican, Mitt Romney, crossing party lines against the then president. This year, the numbers are already larger. However, no one in Trump's inner circle is expecting him to lose, with Democrats requiring a two-thirds conviction. But Trump and his staff are also treading carefully, knowing that it will not be the right time to wade back into the public debate until after the trial has finished. This is true. See, this is really a drain the swamp move with President Trump. These cockroaches are going to come out from the crevices and let us know which of them are the traitors. It says here, Twitter did him a favor, a Republican added, referring to the social media company's lifetime ban on President Trump. If Trump does go on tour again, sources have said he's expected to target the 10 House Republicans who voted in favor. See, this is the Daily Mail out of the UK, so they spell favor wrong, okay, not like we do in America, of his impeachment on January 13th. The former president has also reportedly been keeping a close eye on any Republican senators that cross him. Before his Twitter account was closed down last month, he encouraged Kristi Noem to mount a challenge against Thune. Yeah, this is great stuff. You think Kristi Noem could be? I think she could. She's the governor. People love her. Liz Cheney. Oh, that's number one, right? Liz Cheney. Oh. I mean, Liz Cheney's got a lot of freaking nerve, doesn't she, Liz Cheney? Crabs in a bucket instead of rhinos. That's a good one. Crabs in a bucket. I like that. Bill Barr isn't sleeping on a MyPillow. I don't know. I bet you even Bill Barr has a MyPillow. Who doesn't sleep on a MyPillow? Don't you guys? You should be sleeping on a MyPillow. Well, regardless, I support this. And, there's going to be a big move to stop his revenge tour, President Trump, because the revenge tour will require rallies. And they're going to go out and argue that he can't have rallies. They're going to stop him from getting permits and not be able to have rallies because the breach, they'll tell you. His rally could incite violence, they're going to say. And he's going to be denied permits and all of that nonsense because, They're afraid of Donald Trump. And that's just, and that's going to be just as successful as their attempt to bring down Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? I mean, what they do is they make martyrs out of these people. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's like, Mr. Smith goes to Washington here. All 11 traitors on NBC News, yeah. Yeah, oh, Biden today, yeah. An illegal trial, even the Supreme Court judge. Yeah, as much of a lowlife as Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts is, even he will have nothing to do here. They need to get Cheney out of there. Well, this thing with Cheney, Liz Cheney, the Cheneys, I guess they run Wyoming. But there was a time when Wyoming only had one representative. I don't know how many they have now. Back in the days when Dick Cheney was in Wyoming, they only had one representative. The population was so small. I wonder if they have more than one now. But this secret vote they did in the House for Liz Cheney was, that tells you how unpopular she is. But they pulled it off still. And for the the Republicans having a secret vote, so we can't make that revenge list, tells you they're worried about Trump. Florida Republicans voted against Marjorie Taylor Greene. Well, we have a lot of House members in Florida. We're a big state with a huge population, so there's a lot of bottom feeders that I may not be too familiar with. Don't worry, I'll have my list. Marjorie Taylor Greene is my favorite member of Congress. I love her. I think she's great. I'm not into revenge, but Trump is. He's talked about it. If you read Art of the Deal, he's into revenge. But this isn't really revenge so much as it is, this is, taking back the Republican Party from these traitors. Look at this guy. Morning Joe. I know none of you watch Morning Joe, right? Because Morning Joe is on television when I'm on the radio in the morning. So how can anybody be watching Morning Joe as opposed to listening to me or watching me on YouTube Live? But, Morning Joe and Mika, who are married, they live here in South Florida. They live in Jupiter, Florida, which is right up the street from Mar-a-Lago. And Don Jr. is moving to their neighborhood in Jupiter, Florida. And even when they're in Jupiter, they have these Washington backdrops to make people think that they're in Washington when they're really in Florida. Whatever. Look at this. Scarborough slams evangelicals for bizarre concern about abortion. What is this guy? On today's Morning Joe, Joe Scarborough slammed evangelicals for their focus on abortion. No fewer than 4 times, Scarborough called evangelicals' concern about abortion bizarre. All this arose in the context of the show opening by contrasting President Biden's National Prayer Breakfast remarks with those of President Trump a year ago. It's true that Biden's remarks were more conventionally appropriate, but which brilliant aide thought it was a good idea to have an unusually frail and subdued Biden say, we need to lean on each other, lift one another. I don't quite get all of that. But anyway, this concern, a bizarre concern about abortion. I'm so tired of every day I'll see in the news somewhere about Biden being Catholic and his religion, and it's all in a positive light, right? All the liberal media, they love the fact that Biden is Catholic. Well, because of Biden's position on abortion, he is not in tune with the church. And according to this Pope and the Pope before him, Biden is not a Catholic in good faith, and he is forbidden from taking Holy Communion. And he goes to Mass every week, right? He's going to go to Mass every week. Every time Biden takes communion, he is defying the Pope. So I don't know why there's all this reporting on him being such a great Catholic, because nothing could be further from the truth. They love it. Of course, AOC doubling down. This thing with AOC, with this lie that she got busted in, she's pathological. She's pathological. She's more than just doubling down. She's like quadrupling down. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen these maps. that that show where the building where she was, and then show the Capitol, and she was like, I don't know, 3/10 of a mile or something away. There's the huge Capitol. There's like a park. There's a street where cars drive, and then there's that office building. So it says, and another thing about it, since she is only in her second term, and most people in Congress have been in the House for 200 years, she's got bad office space. So she's got a bad office somewhere far away, but she's pathological, and I think she's starting to believe it. I really do. She's starting to believe all her own lies and nonsense about the breach. But one good thing about it, though, with AOC is that more people in the media are going back to all of her other big lies, right? Like the crying, the fake crying, and at the fence, at the chain link fence, at the empty parking lot, supposedly crying over kids in cages. There were no kids in or out of cages. There was no one there. An empty parking lot, and of course her lie about where she grew up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, she's really doing herself a lot of harm. And I was talking on the radio this morning about it. I was pretty amazed and shocked that the hashtag AOC Lives was the #1 trending hashtag in America, followed by AOC Smollett. And I really believe that Nancy Pelosi and Schumer are the ones that are pushing this Twitter frenzy on AOC. So many Trump people have left Twitter. I mean, I know I keep telling people not to leave Twitter, but I know so many MAGA people have just abandoned Twitter because of what happened with President Trump. And I mean, I remember I saw Charles Payne. He lost 50,000 subs in a day. So many Trump people left. There are not enough MAGA people left on Twitter to make AOC Lied the top trending hashtag on Twitter. That's just impossible. And Schumer and Pelosi are after her because she is going after Schumer's Senate seat. And if she goes after Schumer's Senate seat and he loses his seat, she'll be in there for the rest of her life unless she finds something else that she wants to do. So I think Pelosi and Schumer are behind this hashtag AOC Lied, AOC Smollett being the top trends. There's just no way that it could happen without a push from the left, from big forces in the left. Pelosi hates her anyway, A lot of caricatures in politics right now. There always are. Or do you mean creatures? Yeah, I know. But she's also a little, AOC, she's jealous of Marjorie Taylor Greene because Marjorie Taylor Greene is the it girl in the House right now. So she's out there trying to get some attention. You wish Schumer and Pelosi would just go and retire. I don't like either of them either, but Schumer and Pelosi, if they retire tomorrow, Schumer would be replaced by AOC. And some other San Francisco liberal would replace Pelosi. They would just be replaced by two more people that you will learn to hate. That's so. Who would you rather have as the senator? Now think about this. Who would you rather have as the senator from New York? Chuck Schumer or AOC? I'd rather have Schumer. He's older. She'll be in there for 50 years. The weather in Florida is awesome. I just actually checked the temperature. It's 77 right now outside my house. So yeah, 77 degrees. So it's a beautiful, beautiful beach day. I know we've got the air conditioning on, and everything else. Oh, I know, it's nice. It's nice. Did you guys see this story about David Hogg? David Hogg is going to try to come up with a new pillow with this liberal guy to compete with Mike Lindell. What a bizarre thing to do. I mean, why would he concern himself with pillows when I thought his primary focus was ending gun violence. Seems like a big leap, right? From ending gun violence to partnering up with someone to start a pillow company. When the David Hogg, because I sleep on a My Pillow. Right over here, I have my My Pillow pet bed for my dog and my cat. When the David Hogg pillow comes out, I'm going to do a comparison. I'll get the David Hogg pillow and compare it to Mike Lindell's My Pillow. But this is very strange. Is he no longer going to be involved with ending gun violence, and he's getting into the pillow business? And the thing about Mike Lindell just didn't get into the pillow business. He and his family, they spent a long time in inventing that patented fill they have in the My Pillow, which is, by the way, in the My Pillow pet bed too. And he just say, okay, we're going to be in the pillow business, and here's a pillow. I'm going to put my name on it, and it's called, My Pillow. That's not what happened. There was a long process that Mike Lindell went through to develop that patented fill inside the inside the pillow and the other products that they have. So it's just not like, okay, we got a pillow. I mean, and why would someone say, I can't stand Mike Lindell so much, I'm going to come up with a pillow and I'm going to compete with him because it seems so strange, doesn't it? Oh my goodness. Now, of course, I don't usually do this on my live streams, but I'm going to do a quick plug for My Pillow because My Pillow are sponsors of ours. And when you use the promo code KANE, Kane, at mypillow.com, you get a huge deal, and you can add $10 off, right, when you go there. And, of course, when you use the promo code KANE, Kane, My Pillow towel set, buy one, get a second set free. The Giza cotton dream sheets, Kathy and I sleep on these. We slept on them last night. We'll sleep on them again tonight. Buy one set of Giza dream sheets, get another set free. But go there, use the promo code KANE, and buy whatever you want to buy. There's a discount on everything, and no matter what the special is, you can take advantage of it with the promo code KANE, Kane. This, I think, is the next thing Kathy and I need to get, the My Pillow throw blanket. 30% off with the promo code KANE, Kane. That's a good one. I like that. And the My Pillow, and remember, you get $10 off on top when you go there. With the promo code KANE, you can actually get the My Pillow for just $24.98. So there's all kinds of other deals here. Even the Sean Hannity specials, you can use the promo code KANE on Kane. No matter what it says, the special is the promo code KANE, Kane. You can get the deal. All right, so go and load up. And the bathrobes, of course, Kathy and I just got these 30% off the My Pillow bathrobes. Kathy has the white, and I have the gray. But they come in pink, and 30% off with the promo code KANE, Kane. All right, I'd appreciate that. It helps us out a lot, and it helps out Mike Lindell. And it'll be better than any David Hogg. This one here, though, is pretty frightening. I think this is really frightening. Bank of America. Now, Bank of America is my bank. And we've been with Bank of America for ever and ever and ever. And probably a lot of you are too. And the reason that we use Bank of America is because there is one on every corner. Sometimes there's like two. I mean, there's like they're everywhere. But this is pretty outrageous. Outraged customers boycott Bank of America as it's revealed they snooped through hundreds of innocent people's accounts looking for Capitol rioters for the feds. Bank of America gave the government the information of 211 people who they felt fit the criteria of a suspicious involvement in the January 6th riot. Now, what does that mean? I had some friends that went up to see Trump speak that day. They weren't a part of the breach or any of that. But there were a lot of, because it was a big thing, there were a lot of vendors out there that were selling Trump gear and MAGA gear. And in fact, they bought me. texted me, and they were at this guy's table that had a bunch of MAGA stuff, and they had this cool Space Force shirt, and they asked me if I wanted the space, and I said, yeah, get it for me. So if you were in Washington that day and you bought anything, right, and you used your Apple Pay or your debit card, and it's a Bank of America card, would you fit the profile if you were just in Washington buying MAGA gear that day from someone? I mean, what do they mean? They had people who looked suspicious that they turned over to the feds. What does that mean? I mean, I use my Bank of America card is on my Apple Pay, and I use that for everything. You could have bought a soda at a soda machine with your debit card or your Apple Pay with Bank of America. Would they say, yeah, it's profiling? Yeah, would they say that you somehow fit some profile that they turned over? I mean, this era, it's one thing if they've got a suspect. They got a suspect, and they're investigating them, and they've got credible evidence they were part of the breach, and they're trying to find out where they were and what they did that day and who they came in contact with. So they subpoena their bank records, and they go through their bank records to try to piece together where they were and who they were with that day. That's one thing. This seems a little different. So let's go through this story, because this is pretty frightening, because I didn't see the word subpoena there. Outraged Bank of America customers are boycotting the bank after learning it snooped through hundreds of innocent people's accounts at the request of the government as part of its investigation into the Capitol riot, using a broad criteria that meant anyone who made a transaction in D.C. that day came under a federal microscope. Oh my goodness. Anyone who made a transaction that day? Whoa. I've never seen anything like this in America. Tucker Carlson reveals the bank's involvement in the investigation on his Fox News show on Thursday night. After being contacted by the government, Bank of America handed over the information of 211 people. Do you see anything about subpoena? Oh my goodness. By the way, you can see it over there. That is, I can't get my finger on it. There we go. That's the MyPillow pet bed that my cat was sleeping on. She was just on it sleeping. She just left the room before the stream. The feds also asked for information including customers confirmed as transacting either through bank account debit card or credit card purchases in Washington, D.C. Pretty vague. Purchases made for hotel and Airbnbs in D.C., Virginia, and Maryland after January 6th. Any purchases of weapons or weapons-related merchants between January 7th and their, this is crazy. I went to a gun show a few weeks back, and I made a purchase. I bought a MAGA flag from one of the vendors there, and they sell firearm stuff too. I just bought a MAGA flag from them, and it was the last one they had too. That's why I got it. It was the last one. In fact, I bought the one they had on display. Would I fit the criteria? I bought a flag. Yeah. Brian in the chat, he says, I think the government stoops more than we think it does. Oh, yeah, they do, but I've never heard of something like this coming out. I mean, it's one thing if they had subpoenas on particular people that were suspects they were investigating. This is a total violation. I don't see anything about a court order. From the 211 people the bank turned over, one was interviewed by law enforcement. No one was arrested. So it was a violation of their rights, violation of their privacy, and nothing became of it because it was unfounded. It was just guilt by association. You were in D.C. and you made a purchase that day. Bank of America has not confirmed how many accounts it went through to produce the 211 it turned over, nor has it confirmed whether it was compelled by a subpoena or search warrant. Well, I would say they weren't. Because if they were, they would say they were compelled by a subpoena or search warrant because they don't want to take the heat. This would completely say we had no choice. We had a court order from a federal judge. Now, many are calling for a total boycott of Bank of America, calling its cooperation with the feds an overreach that breaches consumer trust, and are demanding to know how other companies are cooperating. The Daily Mail has asked Chase, Capital One, American Express, Citi, MasterCard, Airbnb, Uber, and Lyft whether they too have handed over information of people who were near the Capitol on January 6th to the feds. None have responded, which means probably yes, they did. Bank of America is refusing to give details on exactly how many accounts it looked through, whether the government produced a subpoena or warrant for them, or even if it still is going through them. On Friday, they told the Daily Mail, the bank did, in a statement, "We don't comment on our communications with law enforcement. All banks have responsibilities under federal law to cooperate with law enforcement inquiries." It's unclear if the bank handed over all the records. This is scary. I mean, listen. They're saying that they wanted to go through the records of anyone who made a transaction in D.C. that day. That's how many people is that? They must have gone through everyone. How could they come up with 211, the bank, to turn over? Oh my goodness. I know, it is frightening, isn't it? It is scary. Yeah. I mean, thank the Lord I didn't go. Thank the Lord I did not go. And you too out there. There's guilt by association. That's what it is. I mean, I'm pretty upset about it. I'll wait to get more information. I mean, a lot of people leave. So people are leaving Bank of America. Where are you going to go, right? One of these other banks that probably did the same thing. So I don't think it makes sense to leave Bank of America because you're just, they just got busted. If Bank of America did it, all the other banks did too. So closing your account at Bank of America and going to another bank it's a waste of time. They all did it. And probably Uber and Lyft too, is because the Daily Mail. Daily Mail is really thinking ahead. I think that was pretty sly of them. Did you guys see this? This was an unbelievable thing. Let me see here if I got another where I have. Yeah, here we go. This is in the Gateway Pundit. Hot Mike caught House Democrats making fun of the Pledge of Allegiance after Matt Gaetz was talking about the Pledge of Allegiance. And, I mean, let me tell you, the left have had to think about the Pledge of Allegiance for years, right? They're always trying to get rid of it, And I remember I would hear people on the right when I was younger. You don't hear this too much anymore. But Republicans used to call Democrats the Hate America First crowd, right? The Hate America First crowd. Have you ever heard that? You don't hear it too much anymore. But I used to hear this, the Hate America First crowd. And I always thought that was just rhetoric. This is when I was younger. Because no American really hates. Well, I've come to realize that they do. They do. And they were making fun of Matt Gaetz for wanting to say the Pledge of Allegiance. They are the Hate America First crowd, and I don't really understand why that is. I don't think anyone really understands it. Even the people that hate this Hate America crowd. Hey Chris, how you doing? I don't think they understand it either. I mean, what other country do you have freedom like you have here? Nowhere. Freedom of everything. In particular, these people making fun of Matt Gaetz, these were members of Congress, Democrat members of Congress making fun of the Pledge. And Matt Gaetz, but the Pledge. Nowhere else in the world do you have the freedom that you have here, that these Democrats have all that. If you went to these other countries and trashed, and were, a citizen of other countries, and trashed the country all day and all night like they do, you'd be shut down. Put in jail by the government. Government would cancel you. So I don't really understand why they hate America and make fun of it and think America is such a bad place. I really don't understand it. If any of you have any theories on that, I'm open to hear them. But by the way, this is Mar-a-Lago. Isn't it beautiful? Oh man. Now I don't know why. See, right there's the ocean. Isn't it beautiful? I don't know why President Trump is living at Mar-a-Lago and doesn't buy a big house nearby. But Mar-a-Lago has a huge wall that goes all around it, like the Vatican. It's got a huge wall, and this is before he was president. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. And I don't know how big his apartment he has there, but I'm glad he's there. It's nice to have him right up the street all the time. Don't take your money out of the banks, leave it in there. Yeah, you know, it doesn't. You've got to use a bank to live. So taking out Bank of America does no good. Yeah. This is the Florida White House. It's right, and it's right down. This was the Florida White House with Trump, and it's right down the street from the Kennedy compound, which was the Florida White. So we've got 2 presidential Florida White Houses here in town, which is really nice. I love it. I love it. Now listen, guys, make sure you're subscribed. All right, and click the notification bell. That helps a lot, right? And also, if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up. That helps a lot too. So subscribe, click that notification bell, give me a thumbs up. And I want to thank all you guys out there, because this week I hit 40,000 subscribers, and that's because of you guys. So all of you out there that are subscribed and support my channel, support my content, I really appreciate it. And hitting that 40,000 subscriber mark, it felt good, and I really appreciate you guys and all your support. All right, so listen, guys, take care, and I'll see you again over the weekend. All right, thanks for watching. And just got a super chat from Ken, $4.99. Thank you for that super chat, Ken. Appreciate it. Thanks so much, Ken Wilcox, $4.99 super chat, and everyone else that gave me super chats. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching.